Let's talk about 7th grade. Hey guys, it's Vani from Mrs. Mom's Homeschool and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I make videos to help you on your homeschooling journey for all grade levels. But today we're talking about 7th grade. I can't believe I have a 7th grader again. Except this time it's different. My last 7th grader tried 6 months of school and then COVID came and then she was virtual schooled the rest of the time and now she's in high school. So this is actually like my first time homeschooling 7th grade. And I gotta say I'm pretty excited and a little nervous because I'm excited and I don't want my son's lack of excitement for school to get me down. Just keep it real, guys. You know how it is. We get so excited to get all this stuff together and it just doesn't go through the way we want it to. But anyway, I have a nice little selection here I'm gonna share with you guys. I'm also gonna share with you his block schedule for the year and our morning basket-ish type things as well. So let's get right into it. So we're just gonna go in order of like what I have here at the table, and if I have any links, they'll be in the description below. Okay, so for math, we are using the Good and the Beautiful Math 6. The reason why we are on Math 6 and not Math 7, which is lucky by the way, because the Good and the Beautiful has not released their Math 7 yet anyway. But we jumped from Beast Academy over to the Good and the Beautiful. Beast Academy is a mastery program. Turns out my son does better with a spiral approach. And so we bumped him down a grade level just to make sure that he was getting everything he needed. And the goal is to try to get through 6 before the year's over so that when 7 does come out, hopefully he can start that right away and be on grade level. However, if it doesn't come out in time, I don't know how that's gonna work out. Anyway, 6 is what we're doing. I'll do an in-depth review of all of this stuff separately, but 6 has 2 books this year. Just want to get through the stuff we're doing one-on-one. This is our first year that we're separating courses for the kids. I don't know how it's going to work out. The goal is to try to get my son to be independent in his work from here on out. So we are going to ease our way back into the homeschool year by starting one subject at a time, 1 week at a time, starting the end of July. So that by September, first week of September, we'll be on a full course load. Because we're switching things up, we're not doing history and science together anymore. I want to make sure that both of the kids are used to everything. We're not joining together anymore because my son is going into 7th grade and I feel that now it's time for him to upgrade to what I call big boy science. And I feel like the science that we were using is not enough. If he wants to go into college, I feel like he needs something more structured, and there's topics in the other science that we were using that are not covered. So we'll get, you know what, let's just talk about science. So for science this year, we are going to be doing Apologia's self-paced general science. So it is video-based, but it's not live classes. So I don't have to teach. The videos will be teaching him and he can go at his own pace. So he's supposed to do, I think, 45 minutes a day. We're only 4 days a week. We're going to be doing this. And I have an in-depth review of the self-paced science in the card above and in the description below. But this science, it's called Exploring Creation with General Science. It talks about biology, physics, the scientific method, earth science, chemistry. It's basically a little bit of everything, which he did study with the Good and the Beautiful. But I like this because it has pages for him to fill out, graphs and charts. The scientific method wasn't introduced in the Good and the Beautiful at all, but it is introduced here. And I like that it has tests. I like that there's a daily schedule because it's preparing him for that structure, preparing him for test taking, preparing him for studying, preparing him for things that he's going to need in the future. History is something else we're doing separate, doing everything separate, but we used to do history together as well. So same as last year, we are doing a history of us. We're hopefully going to get through book 1 this summer. And then I don't have I think book 3 is missing here, but we're going to be attempting to do books 3 through 3, 4, 5, and I think 6. We're going to try to get through, there's 10 books, I believe. I have them up there on my shelf. We're going to try to get through 4 books this homeschool year. I like A History of Us. It's by Joy Hackham. I will post it. I think I have a review. If not, I will post it. But it's written to the child They're short chapters, and then you can get the student guide where they can answer questions and has some critical thinking, a word bank, and things like that, different things for him to do. Now that he's older, I like him having to do a little bit of work with his units, whereas before he would narrate back to me what he learned and things like that when he was little. Now I'm trying to take him to the next level to start getting used to thinking differently, actually doing assignments, doing work and things like that, because he's going to need that in the future if he chooses to go to college. For language arts, that includes his spelling, his writing, his grammar, as well as geography, picture study, and art. We are using, of course, The Good and the Beautiful. Level 7. Level 7 is high school level. So he did test into this. At the middle of last year, I decided not to continue with it because it was high school level work. I didn't feel like he was ready for it, but he is going to be doing level 7 of The Good and the Beautiful. A lot of us have had some problems with The Good and the Beautiful's lack of writing, or, because we were used to doing like a whole writing course. Well, this here says level 7 places a strong emphasis on writing. Children are taught good and beautiful style writing that is effective and engaging while having high literary and moral value. So I keep jumping back and forth between really wanting to do IEW, but I'm just going to trust The Good and the Beautiful and their writing and stop jumping around and adding all kinds of stuff for my son to do. And he still has the grammar and geography cards for him to memorize. And so that's that. For handwriting, he's doing handwriting 6 of The Good and the Beautiful. I don't know why we're a year behind in handwriting. No, we didn't finish the last one either, so we're kind of like a year and a half behind. But I have no idea why. But anyway, we're gonna do level 6 of the handwriting. We're also doing The Good and the Beautiful's typing this year. So he did a little bit of typing already before in the past. So this year we're gonna do The Good and the Beautiful. This is not typing, but I have, it's right here. I have for him books 2 and 3, because I'm not sure where he is yet. I have to look through it and see which one, if he needs 2 and 3 or if he can just jump into 3. For Bible, I have 2 amazing resources for Bible, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet, how I'm going to use them. I really want to use them both, but I don't want it to be too much work for my son. So I still haven't figured out how I'm going to do this. I am waiting for the creator of Chasing Adulthood to get back to me. So, and then to figure out if I can do them both or if I should just focus on one and then do the other. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but the 2 resources that I have is this one you guys have probably never heard of, and I'm going to do in-depth review. It'll come out next week, of Chasing Adulthood. So I went to the homeschool convention and I spoke to the husband of this, Terry Frieson's husband, and he was explaining to me this curriculum, and I really fell in love with it. It's a character study, but it's more than just that, because there are assignments in here. Your teen is supposed to have projects, like the first character trait is serving, so they have to do service projects and keep track of their service projects as well, which is good for the different scholarships that there are out there for kids who are volunteer and do volunteer hours. And they also are supposed to like meet with their mentor every so often. I'm not sure how often yet. And at the end of completing this book, they also recommend that you do like a ceremony, kind of like the Jewish have a celebration ceremony, like a bar mitzvah, when like a young man is entering adulthood. As Christians, we don't have anything like that, but this recommends that you do something like that. And I think it even has, for your son or your daughter, it has recommendations for that. So I think this is so awesome. I really I am going to do this. I just don't know how I'm going to fit them back both in together. Second thing I have, so this one is from Positive Action, and it is Wise Up, Wisdom and Proverbs. And it's a devotional for tween boys in 7th grade. Basically, it's great. It's for like 7th grade. And it teaches about wisdom versus foolishness, how to pick good friends, how to have right attitudes, how to love all people, how to deal with the flesh, how to walk in the spirit, how to stay in God's will, how to have right thoughts. So self-control. So it does go hand in hand with the Chasing Adulthood. I just don't know if it's going to be too much to do both at the same time. But this comes with this is his book where he's going to be thinking about writing things down. And then it's not going to be an independent thing. Some we're going to do together. And then this is the teacher's binder. It comes just like this, a whole binder gets sent to. So that's pretty cool because I love like organization. So that is like all of his like work stuff. So let's take a look at his block schedule, and then I'm going to show you what's inside the basket. There we're going to do like a loop schedule, and I'll explain to you what that is if you don't know. If you're new to homeschooling or scheduling, a block schedule basically takes time chunks and fits in the things you want to accomplish in that time chunk. So instead of saying like from 7 to 8 we're going to do this, and then from 8 to 9, you know, because schedules like that never work out. It's just a block of time. So like, for example, we have our morning block from 7 to 8. I made this on Canva. It was actually already a template that I completely changed up. So we're on our morning block. So every day is going to be the same except for Tuesdays, which are homeschool co-op days. And some Thursdays, here instead of Thursday, I put salt days because otherwise it's normal. So this is our other homeschool co-op. It's going to be just the same unless we have our activity day on this, which is once a month, and unless there's a field trip. So let's just look at one day here. So in the morning, he's going to be doing his, you know, morning wash up, brush his teeth, get ready for the day. And then I'm going to get a subscription to World Watch News that I've been hearing about in the homeschool community, where they can watch 10-minute segments. I'm going to have them watch 2 while they're eating breakfast of news, but it's Christian made and it's edited for kids, so it's like a safer version of the news, but it's like current events. So my son really enjoys knowing what's going on. He finds everything interesting, so I thought that'd be a good fit for him. And then I was going to try and fit in, so my you know, I'm trying to wake up before the kids from 6 to 7 to do all my morning stuff, so that by this time breakfast is already done. And as they're eating and watching their show and doing their morning chores, his is to unload the dishwasher, I will do my cleaning for the day, my whatever the cleaning. I'm trying to break up my cleaning into like zones, and so I can try to do my zone cleaning for the day. So I'm saying try because, you know, we get all these schedules made up and then we go to put into action, it doesn't work out. So Lord willing, it'll work out. Morning block 2, we're going to be doing our read out loud, which we're finishing up the Chronicles of Narnia this year. We're not finishing, like we're not almost done. We're in book like 3 out of however many there are. We're right now reading The Horse and His Boy. So we're going to just continue through that until we're done. And then I actually have a whole list of books for him to read by himself. I can show you that too. And read out louds for us to read together. And then... oh, HW is I'm like, homework is handwriting. So he's going to be doing his handwriting, and then our loop schedule and typing. So I have to just watch that this doesn't take too much time. He's also going to be doing his typing with that. And then his morning block 3 is his science. And then I'm putting outside PE because if I put it down as PE, I'm more likely to not feel like it's a waste of time. So this could be, you know, in the summer months, the pool, maybe the park, maybe just a scooter ride or a bike ride around the neighborhood, just to get a little bit of time outside, maybe like 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes during the day. And then he'll do his math. The afternoon block is language arts. Language arts takes a little while because he's doing his grammar cards, his language arts lesson, his art, and his reading all in that one block. Then we'll have a little lunch break, and then we'll do one-on-one Bible with him. And then he can do his history. It's going to be a little tricky in how I'm going to be doing, since Bible is not completely by himself. And I also have a 3rd grader who needs me for every subject. So I'll let you know how that goes when we do a day in the life video. And then we have an after school block. So this is like we go to the pool or the beach, or we have friends over, or we meet up with friends at the park. This is the time where I'm going to cook, and non-screen free time. It's supposed to be non-screen. Yeah, okay, so non-screen, comma, free time. There's some sort of a semicolon or something that belongs in there. And then hoping to have some games as a family, maybe some cards or whatever, just some time together as a family. And then from 5:30 to 9:30 is when he can have a little bit of screen time, eat, have some chores done, any nighttime stuff, and then because they have an evening routine that I just made, and then do their bedtime routines. So this is what the schedule is going to look like. So we should be done school by 2 every day. Please, Lord, let us be done school by 2 every day. We'll see how that works out. Okay, so before we go into the morning loop basket, let me tell you really quickly the books that I'm planning on reading out loud to my kids this year. We're hoping to finish The Horse and His Boy this summer, And then we will jump into Narnia's Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and then The Silver Chair, and then The Last Battle. After that, we're going to read in the fall a book called Cabin on Trouble Creek. I thought it was a cute fall theme because you're staying in a cabin, and like everybody, we all go to cabins in the fall. For Christmas, we're going to read The Vanderbeek Beakers of 141st Street. It's like a Christmas themed book. Then after that, we're going to do A Wrinkle in Time. We're going to read the book Wonder, and then The Borrowers. Because these are all books that I want to read too, and the only way I'll read them is if I read them aloud to the kids. Otherwise, it would have been assigned to him. For his read out loud time, The Good and the Beautiful actually has a challenge where he has to read Heidi, he has to read Benjamin Weston, The Cat Grimkin, then he has to read a biography, 3 historical fictions, 2 fictions, and 1 nonfiction. So I might just give him some options and let him choose himself, but for now, his book list is The Children's Book of Philosophy, which I want to share that with you right now. So this is an Usborne book, and I just really think that Aaron would really enjoy this. He's just like my little thinker, so I think he's really going to enjoy it. So I want to schedule like a month for him to actually read this book, otherwise he won't. I also want him to read The Giver. Love that movie, never read the book. And then I was thinking of having him read Amelia the Lost, The Life and Disappearance of Amelia Earhart, because when I was his age, I read an Amelia Earhart book and I did a whole like thingy on it when I was in public school. And I don't know, it just really fascinated me how like her plane just disappeared. And so I think he'll enjoy it too. Then I have The Mystery of the Periodic Table, Nori Ryan's Song, Amos Fortune Freeman, and that's it. There's 2 months that I don't have books for. Now let's look into the book basket. Before I get into the book basket, let me just briefly let you know, if you're new to homeschooling, a loop schedule basically means you don't do the same thing every day. You have it on a loop. So let's say I have like 4 books, right, that I want to include in this loop. Monday I do this book, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we just keep going. So I just pick up on the next book the next day, if that makes sense. So what we have here is, I got this at the homeschool convention. This is the Radical Book for Kids. This is actually part 2 to that book, Theology. Sure you heard of that? This is the second part to it. So it's written in a similar format, and it has questions such as, can you prove that God exists? What do you do when you're afraid? How to pray? Did Jesus really rise from the dead? Even how to clean your room? How do we know the Bible's true? So let's say you have, let's look at it closer. I'll show you closer. So just so you see, chapter 1, the Bible in 1 sentence. It has something to read here, a little bit of imagery here, and then this section here. So that's it. And then it also has a more to explore section here, a book. So it says, if you want to learn more about the story of the Bible, you want to read Grandpa's Box, which is actually in my basket. How funny is that? Didn't even know that said that. So that's this book. I just love all the colors. I love the pictures. It makes it more fun for me to read. It was written for them to read themselves, but I'm going to read it with both of my kids in their loop schedule. Next thing we have in the loop are the 101 questions about the Bible and Christianity. I might have them just go through it on their own. Maybe pick a topic that day, and they can just read through it. And then with that, we also have these comics here. So while one child is reading one, the other can read another, except that I won't let my little one read anything scary yet. But these are little comics too. So during that loop day, when it's time for the comics, they'll just pick up one and read it themselves. I have a full review on this as well. I also have a full review on this, America's History. I'll be reading a chapter of this on those days. It's from the 13 colonies all the way to the Bill of Rights. And it is written as a grandfather is talking to his 2 grandchildren, explaining everything in detail. And I explain all about this in the video. I'll leave all that in the description below. You can see inside this and what the author intended when he wrote this book. I just found the book I was looking for, which should not be in the loop. So we are going to put this as book 3 of the history. We're going to put that back in history. So while, like, let's say one of them has the 101 questions book, I also have this whole pack of the answers for kids. So I just brought out volume 2. So if one of them is reading the comic, the other one can read this. Why did God allow some creatures to go extinct? and there's different random questions in these books. So like guys, there's a lot of stuff. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this, but these are just the ideas that I have of things I want to get through this year and I guess over the summer too. This is the Grandpa's Box book that they recommended reading. And it's the same kind of thing as the other book where it's a grandfather opening a box with a bunch of things and he's teaching his grandchildren about the Bible instead of history, with the little tokens that are in there. And then we also have this big life journal that we started 2 years ago and we never finished. I want to somehow incorporate this. Being persistent, and it has audio, being grateful, things like that. So we'll see how I'm gonna fit this in as well. I also have, once again guys, this is way too much stuff for this basket. We'll figure it out as the year starts, but we have the illustrated stories from Shakespeare that I've never gone through with the kids that I want to go through with them. It's basically all of Shakespeare's stories, but kid-friendly. Macbeth, The Midsummer's Night, Hamlet. It's a nice little introduction for them before they have to actually read it in high school. And then I like this vocabulary cartoons. I do have a video on this as well, so that they can learn a new word each day. These are words that are on the SATs. All right, so and the last thing I want to share with you about what my 7th grader is doing. In his homeschool co-op, we have 2 homeschool co-ops. One of them, we're going to try and go to every field trip and do all the activity days. They are activity days once a month where he gets together with the middle schoolers and they do like something. And then they may have a speaker come in or a service project or something like that. And then we have field trips. So we're hopefully, I can't wait till the new field trip schedule comes out for this co-op. And then our weekly co-op, he's going to be taking basically the same classes he has been taking all this year. He has PE, he has Nerf Wars. They're all fun classes. He has Odyssey of the Mind, and he has Lego Club. So he's in there with all of his friends. They all take the same classes and they have a lunch together. Their table's huge. You got to see this, like 20 kids, so 20 boys his age of his friends. And they all take the same classes together. So we really enjoy that too. So that is my son's 7th grade year in a nutshell. Make sure to subscribe, guys, if you are interested in seeing how this is going to look in real time. I love to make day in the life videos, and I plan on making a bunch for you guys with all of these things that I just shared with you. And that's it. So stay tuned. If you have a upcoming 3rd grader, I'm going to share with you what I'm using for her this homeschool year. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.